Hi guys. Well, today, unfortunately, I am a little bit under the weather. My throat is sore and I just feel tired and not the best. So today is going to be what I eat in a day when I am sick. And I think one of the most important things when you are sick is to give yourself warm, comforting, easy to make because you don't want to spend a lot of energy when you're sick. That's the issue I have with chicken noodle soup. So we're going to be making an Indian version of chicken noodle soup today, which is what I do when I'm under the weather because it's so much easier and it's warm and cozy and it's got so many nutrients in it, guys. So hang in there. It's way easier to make than chicken noodle soup, and it's going to you're gonna love it when you learn to make it. It's a couple of ingredients and you just put it and set it and forget it. So easy. So, but first, before we get into that recipe for lunch and dinner, I'm going to first make a pot of oatmeal this morning for breakfast. Oatmeal is like the perfect breakfast when your throat is sore, you want something warm. Oatmeal has lots of good nutrients in it. It's good for your health and it's comforting and it's warm and it's easy on my throat. So I'm not going to talk too much because I don't want to make my throat worse than it already is. But let me get in here and show you how to make this oatmeal you can make it any which way you want, but I have a couple of apples over there that need to get used up. You know, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? So apples are good along with oatmeal when you're sick. So that's what I'm going to be making today. So there's other options you can make if you're feeling like something else or you just have something different in your house. Another one I like is grated carrot. You know, it's pretty easy, and most of the time, most of us have carrots in the house, so just grate up some carrot and stick it in. But today, I am going to go with an apple cinnamon oatmeal. All right, let me show you how to make this. Okay guys, so here the first thing I have done is to peel 2 apples, and it doesn't matter what kind of apple, whatever apple you normally eat would be fine in this. And I have peeled and sliced and small diced 2 whole apples to go into my oatmeal. Okay guys, so to make this oatmeal, we're gonna put 1.5 cups of oats, plus 3 cups of water. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add my apples in with my oatmeal and water. And then you just want to mix it down in a little bit. Just make sure it's all mixed down into that water. Okay, and then when it's all mixed down in real good, you can just go ahead and we're ready to cook this. And we will add the cinnamon and brown sugar and milk and stuff to it at the very end. We're just gonna cook this first. And then we're going to go ahead and secure the lid. We're gonna adjust the time down to 4 minutes. Once our 4-minute cook time lapses, we're gonna allow 2 minutes natural pressure release, and then we'll release the rest of the pressure manually. Okay guys, so our oatmeal is done. I'm just gonna stir it around. Here's what we've got. And then just to make this a bit more creamy, I'm gonna add in, like I mentioned, my vanilla milk. Again, if you don't have this, you can just use regular milk with sweetener of choice, or just add, because I'm gonna add in some brown sugar, you can just add in a little bit more of the brown sugar and regular milk. All right, so I like mine about here. It's gonna continue to thicken as it kind of sits here. So it is a little bit, I usually put a little bit more milk to make it a little bit more soupy than what I want at the time that I'm gonna eat it. Because by the time I get the rest of the stuff in here and I get it all in a bowl, it is going to thicken quite a bit. And then I also, just for that nice, thick, rich texture, I love to put just a spoon of the cream cheese. This is the whipped cream cheese, which is only a couple of Weight Watchers points per tablespoon. So I prefer this, but that just gives it a really, really creamy consistency. And if you don't have that, you can just totally leave it out. It's just that I really like it in there, so I just went ahead and added just a little spoon of it just for texture. And then I'm gonna add some, this is gonna be to taste. I already have the vanilla milk, so I don't wanna go too hog wild with the sugar. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of brown sugar to it. This is enough for easily like 2 to 3 servings. My husband is sick too, so he's gonna be eating some with me. So this spoon of brown sugar should be more than enough for this. It's probably about 3 good servings in here. All right, and then last but not least, we are going to add in some cinnamon for that apple cinnamon feel here. And all of this, the sugar, the cinnamon, whatever else you're adding in here, the milk, is all going to be just to taste. You're just going to put as much as you want. You saw I didn't really measure. I just mixed it until it looked right. All right. There we go. All right, guys, let me just give this a real quick taste to make sure I got the sugar right. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more sugar. So once you kind of taste it, you can double check how much sugar and other seasonings you've got in there. And I think I'm just going to add a little bit more cinnamon too. All right. I would imagine that this ought to do it. All right, let's give it another taste. New spoon, since we're all sick. There we go, we got it right. And as you can see, just since I've, added that milk, it's now thickened up. So that's why you add just a little bit more milk than what you think at the time when you first add the milk. All right, folks, let me get this in a bowl and I'll show you what we got. Okay, guys, so my oatmeal is ready. This is just so creamy and warm, soothing. And then it's got that apple and oatmeal in there and cinnamon, which is all really good for you when you're sick. It's easier on your throat too. Let's give it a taste. I'm sure it's gonna taste good. I think I had to add more cinnamon and sugar because I think my nose isn't quite right. But, taste it, do it to taste. Smooth and creamy, just absolutely perfect when you're sick. So anyway, guys, I'm just gonna relax, take a day of rest. I'm gonna enjoy my oatmeal and I'll be back later to cook what I'm gonna have for lunch and dinner. So I'm gonna go and eat my oatmeal this morning and try to take care of myself. And I will see you all here in a bit. And also when you're feeling under the weather and a little bit sick, another thing that I really like to do is to come briefly outside. I am over here. I brought my dog outside, brought Roxy out to go potty. When you're not feeling well, it's good to just get out and get just a little bit of fresh air and sunshine. When I'm sick, I ditch the cold water because that's really not very good for your body or your throat. So instead, I'm going to just add a little bit of lemon juice to a cup and a spoon or 2 of honey. I'm really not all that concerned with calories at this time. I'm just trying to do soothing things for my throat. I'm not going to be eating a whole lot, so calories in my drink is fine. And then I've got a tea pot, so I'm just going to add some hot water and mix these together. This is really perfect on a scratchy, sore throat. and also just when you're not feeling 100% up to par and you're a little bit sick. I usually prefer to avoid caffeine and cold drinks and relax with hot honey lemon water instead. I'll alternate between that and my herbal teas. I usually use chamomile, honey, vanilla, and I usually have a wild strawberry or a citrus orange one. Today I was going to do the wild strawberry, and right now I'm going to do the chamomile, honey, vanilla one. That one is really soothing for your throat and also helps you to relax. So I'm just going to again add about a spoon of honey to it and also add my tea bag down in the cup. If you do need that caffeine kick, I would usually stick to having either a black tea or a cup of matcha. If I'm going to do caffeine, I try to stay away from coffee. And then I'm just going to add to my chamomile tea, I'm going to add some hot water that I just made there on my electric tea kettle. Because lemon is so acidic, I usually prefer to alternate between the lemon honey water and the herbal teas with honey. That kind of keeps me throughout the day. All right, I'm going to go drink this now, but I literally just drink these teas all day long to stay well hydrated and to feel better. For my medications of choice, I'm going to alternate between cough drops and, sorry, my bag's all kind of tore up. I'm going to alternate between cough drops and my gargle along with my tea and lemon water. This is a little bit difficult to find. I usually order it online. It is totally worth it, this Gargle Away Throat Care. It is an all natural. You just mix it into water and you gargle it, and it helps bring your voice back, and it also helps to soothe your throat. This is really one of my favorites. Highly recommend it. And then these I get from Buc-ee's. You can order these online, but honestly, they're actually more expensive online. Buc-ee's has a really good deal. Every single time I go traveling anywhere and I swing in at Buc-ee's, I always make sure I pick up 2 or 3 bags of these because they're only a couple of bucks. You would think that at a rest stop that it would be sort of highway robbery, literally. But actually, Buc-ee's has a very, very good price on these. These are one of my absolute favorites. But these are a little bit of like a mentholated cough drop, so I usually alternate between the mentholated variety. And then if you want mentholated cough drops but you don't have a Buc-ee's or haven't been to one, Ricola Throat Care is another mentholated one. That's one of my other favorites. As well as then I alternate the mentholated cough drop with the just more gentle cough drop so that I'm not, otherwise it just makes my stomach upset. So I tend to alternate between the cough drops and the gargle and the tea, and that helps me to feel better. Okay guys, so I am going to have some khichdi for lunch and for dinner. I'll show you what I have here. So khichdi is basically like a rice porridge. It is rice and lentil porridge, I should say. So it is very popular in India and Pakistan and all of South Asia. When people are sick in that area of the world, rather than having chicken noodle soup, which I know is so popular in the United States, in the South Asian area of the world, it is very common, as common as chicken noodle soup, it is common to eat khichdi. And so the reason why I like this is a couple of things. One is it is super, super cheap. You need a half a cup of rice, a half a cup of lentils. I'll link the specific type of lentil down in the description because you likely have never heard of it. It's called mung dal. And then carrots or veggies are totally optional, but when I'm sick, I always like carrots because they have a very mild and nice flavor, and it adds just a little bit more nutrient value to the food. So then you have, you have protein, you have carbs, and you have some vegetables in there, which is also kind of a carb. So it's a very well-rounded meal, and it is so simple. You literally just take all this stuff, throw it in the pot, put 4 cups of water, let it cook, and that's it. It's so simple. When you are feeling sick and you do not have the energy to cook, and you just need something, even when I used to get migraines and I couldn't keep food down very well, this is the one thing that would stay down for me. So if you are very sick, this is the thing. This is always what I eat when I am sick, and it will bring you back to 100%. I'm going to show you how to make it. Okay guys, so to make our khichdi, it's very simple. I'm going to start out with some basmati rice. This is the diabetic basmati rice. You do not have to use this exact product. Any rice will do. I do recommend either a long grain rice or basmati rice, but ultimately whatever you have is totally fine. And then so I've got a half a cup of the rice, and then I'm going to put another half cup of this mung dal. It's a type of lentil. It has protein in it. It's a vegetarian form of protein. I'll put the link in the description for Amazon, but I do buy this from my Indian grocer. So if you have an Indian grocer in your neighborhood, you can find it there. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse these because this is a natural product. It does have a little bit of dust and debris that needs to be rinsed, as well as some starches on the rice and everything. So I just rinse it 3 times is the magic number. After you've rinsed these and drained these 3 times, I will go ahead and put water the 4th time just so that you can see. But the 4th time it is clear and there won't be any more cloudiness. So then it is good to cook. So I'm just going to go ahead and drain these off, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick these in the Instant Pot. I want to have some vegetables in my khichdi, so the next thing I'm going to do is to cut up this ginormous carrot. This is about the size of 2 to 3 normal size carrots, so if you have smaller or regular size carrots, then grab at least 2 to 3 of them. I'm going to put these tops as well as the skins that I'm about to take off of the carrot, that outer layer. I'm going to put all of that into my stock bag, and then later on I will use these vegetable remnants to create a delicious veggie broth. All right, so my carrots are peeled and diced up. I'm going to add all this into the Instant Pot. Here is my drained and rinsed half cup of rice and half cup of mung dal. And then I'm just going to add all of that carrot in, along with 4 cups of water. Here I have 2 cups, followed by another 2 cups. So that's 4 cups total. And then this is about maybe a little less than a teaspoon of salt, but add salt to taste because I'm on a low sodium diet, so that might not be enough for you. This is about a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric and 1.5 heaping teaspoons of coriander powder. I buy this from my Indian grocer here in Houston, but if you don't have an Indian grocer, I'll try to find that. I bet it's available on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. And then you're just going to mix it all up. It's easy as that. We're going to put the lid on the Instant Pot. Set it for high pressure for 9 minutes, and then allow an additional 10 minutes of natural pressure release at the end. So after the cook time and the natural pressure release have finished, and I open my Instant Pot, this is what I have. I'm just going to give it a good mix, and that will kind of break down the texture a little bit more and make it into like a porridge-like consistency. And it will look like this. Kind of the texture, the closest thing I know how to describe it would be almost like a risotto. It is real similar to oatmeal also, but this is a savory dish as opposed to like a sweet dish. And this is just perfect for when you're sick. It's just so easy to make. It's so nourishing. It has everything you need in it, and it's very easy for your body to process when you're not feeling well. So yeah, I mean, khichdi, like I said, is well known in South Asia. It is the go-to food when you're sick, and most of Americans don't really know about it, so I'm sharing it because it happens to be one of my favorites. It's the only thing I make when I'm sick. It is so easy, and it is my go-to recipe. Okay, so let's do the taste test, but I know I've eaten this so many times. It's so delicious. And I'll try to show you closer. Don't want to get it all over the place. So warm, so comforting. Rice, lentils, water, and a handful of spices, coriander, turmeric, and salt. That's it. All right, you guys, I'm gonna eat this. My throat is feeling a little bit better because of all the tea I've had today, but honestly, it's starting to get sore now again that I've been talking. So I'm going to eat this and probably have one more cup of tea and go relax for the rest of the evening. As for activities for this evening, I'm pretty much just going to be watching television and reading this book. Okay guys, I am ready for some rest, and I will see you guys all on my next video. And hopefully I will be feeling much better.